snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Mike, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Evelyn. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Mike, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Mike? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cashback for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PIC to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PIC for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PIC for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
If you've been waiting to try learning a new language with Babbel, now is the time. For just a few more days, you can unlock all of the languages on Babbel with a lifetime subscription at our largest discount of the year. Where will Babbel take you? Find out at Babbel.com. Y una cosa más. This is your last chance because our biggest sale of the year ends on December 7th. For just a few more days, you can get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. A mix of clouds and sun today with highs around 32. South winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, lows level off around 22. A blend of clouds and sun tomorrow, 43. Upper 30s Saturday with a chance for snow. Much cooler Sunday with highs in the mid-20s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Schrabley. Currently, it's 14 degrees.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Cashing out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Cashing out rolls on. Circus Sportsbook, downtown Las Vegas. UCLA is going to make us sweat out this bet. I'm Dustin Sweetelson, and we've got 36 seconds remaining. UCLA leads 78-77 on the road at Washington. We went money line minus 130 with the Bruins. It was looking pretty. They were up double digits late in this game. It was going to be sweat-free. No. Unfortunately, my Degree spray-on deodorant has been activated. I can feel it in my armpits right now as we watch the final 17 seconds. Bruins with the basketball, and did they just get fouled? They got fouled. They're going to the charity stripe. We need to hit 2 free throws. Was he shooting a 3? If it was shooting a 3, they could put this game away with 14 seconds to go. Clark is going to the free throw. Oh, he was shooting a 3. Oh, baby. Oh, that's going to be brutal. If he hits all 3, it's a 4-point game with 17 seconds to go, something like that. Looking at the replay, I don't have a great angle on the replay. The kid who fouled him for Washington seemed pretty shocked that a foul was called. I think he got him on the arm. He got him on the follow-through. Diallo with the foul there. So we'll see Clark at the charity stripe. I'll take you through this. Then we'll go to Night Bites, recapping the best sound from earlier in the day here on VSiN. All right, let's see. First free throws up, 79-77. It's now a 2-point game. Second attempt of 3 coming your way from UCLA. Let's just get the win here. This is why we didn't lay a number. This is why we didn't do the minus 2.5. We went money line. It was a dicey spot. All right, UCLA up 3, hit the second free throw. Here is free throw number 3 from Clark, giving UCLA potentially 81-77 lead. 14 seconds ago, timeout has been called. So we'll wait for the end of that game. All right, we'll go back to that once they get back to the action. Now, the action never stops here on VSiN. You know, I listen all day long. I'm a big fan of all of our shows. I've worked on a few of them. I've worked with a bunch of the people here. I enjoy their opinions. So I like this segment we do, and it's called Night Bites. And it's just the late night spots where you may have not heard earlier in the day some of these conversations if you're listening to me late at night. So let's begin first with the big story coming out of the NBA, and that is Giannis Antetokounmpo. In case you missed it, his agent and his team going to work with the Bucks to sort out what his future is. That means there's a chance Giannis could finally request a trade out of Milwaukee. As the news broke, Stormy Buonantony and Jonathan Von Tobel were on the air with Money Moves, which you can catch from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, and had this reaction to this story.
Giannis is too nice to outright demand in the public that he wants out, but he does. They're 1-5 in their last 6 games without Giannis out there. The team is really going nowhere. They don't really have a bright future or a young player. I'm sorry, but even the emergence of a Ryan Rollins is not going to make you want to stay if you're Giannis Antetokounmpo. So he's going to be, I think, requesting a trade.
Yeah, I think he is too. That's why earlier today I placed a bet on the team 16-1 here at Circa to win the championship. Now, looking at some global odds, I saw the Lakers were favored at one place to end up landing Giannis Antetokounmpo. San Antonio makes some sense. I think that they have the assets, they have the depth, but I think Milwaukee probably wants a star, right? They probably want a superstar back because they don't want to totally tear this all the way down to the studs and rebuild. I saw Boston listed by some people up there. Houston has a lot of young players that they can make this type of move. But I bet on a team pretty short, one of the favorites to land Giannis, and that is the New York Knicks at 16-1 to win the title. You know, they made a real offer. They wanted Giannis over the summer. The reports are that Giannis likes and is intrigued by New York. That's what we were hearing back then. And if you remember when Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers, what was Giannis's quote? I love it. I love seeing the European stars go to these major markets. I think Giannis wants to go to a major market. He's been playing in Milwaukee. Could you imagine the global icon of Giannis in the city that never sleeps in New York playing with that group? The question is, do the Knicks have enough to make the deal happen? Because I saw some projected trade proposals. It was like Karl Anthony Towns, Tyler Kolek, and 3 or 4 picks. I don't know if that gets it done. I don't know if that's enough. However, Cat did do his part tonight, going for over 30 and 18 for the Knicks in a win over the Hornets. So maybe that was a nice little rehearsal there to put on a show for the Bucks front office. Giannis did leave today's game for the Bucks with a calf injury. They're saying that it's a strain to his right calf, but that can always be a lingering thing. So this story could develop over time. But I do think the Knicks are the team that wants to be the most aggressive, even though some of the reports say they don't. And then Scoop B, who covers the NBA, came out and said that Karl Anthony Towns, according to his sources, is looking for an opportunity to be the undisputed focal point of his own team. And to that I say, Karl Anthony Towns, God bless. You go do that in Milwaukee, man. You go enjoy that. You put up those numbers. You get those stats. You be that alpha, that A1 number 1 dog. You go. I think you should demand you go to Milwaukee to do that, to facilitate this trade and make sure it happens. That's what Karl Anthony Towns should do. But if the Knicks do make this move, I do expect them to win the East. Because you think about one of New York's biggest issues last year was the lack of depth. They have depth this year. OG Anunoby's injured. He'll be back later in the year. Mitchell Robinson, he's in and out of the lineup, but that's more of a load management thing. They added guys like Yabusele and Clarkson off the bench to give them some respectability. I love the idea of McBride playing more under Mike Brown. But another big issue they had, Brunson off the floor a year ago, they couldn't develop an offense. And they couldn't run an offense. Now you could have Giannis run that point forward role with Brunson when he's off the floor getting a rest, and your offense never skips a beat. So I love the idea of Giannis coming to the Knicks. It has to happen, but I love that number of 16-1 most importantly, and I don't hate the number even if they don't get Giannis at that big of a price. All right, it's Night Bites here, cashing out VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. And I was tuning in to follow the money as Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard, 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern time here on the network, our flagship show. And they reacted to the latest college football playoff rankings, and I was surprised by this take, but they believe there is a chance the Miami Hurricanes could wind up in this year's college football playoff.
Great tweet from Covers last night.
Yes.
When you look at Miami overall, of course, they got the head-to-head. They have the same record. They have more top 10 wins. They have an equal SOS to Notre Dame. They have an equal strength of record, and they beat 3 or 4 common opponents by more than what Notre Dame did.
Yes.
Doesn't that mean anything?
This is absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
This is absurd.
Now, what?
It would be an all-time injustice.
Yeah, Paulie's right. It would be an all-time injustice, but I don't think Miami's getting in, guys. Mitch bet them at really good numbers, and I don't fault him for that. I bet them last week at 75-1 to win the title. So, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I just think we're going to end up losing those bets. And I don't want to. Believe me, I want to win the bets. I don't I don't place bets hoping to lose them. But the committee could have told us right now how they thought of Miami. And in fact, they did, I should say. They told us what they thought of Miami. Because right now, Notre Dame's 10, BYU's 11, Miami's 12. If they thought Miami was a playoff team, they would have ranked them above Notre Dame. They're not. Why would, with these teams being idle, and I know this was a big talking point from Hunter Yurachich, the committee chair. Ooh, love hearing that guy talk. It makes less sense than I do a lot of times. But why would Miami jump Notre Dame between now and the final rankings following the conference title games when neither team is playing? That just wouldn't make any sense. So I don't understand that. The only hope for Miami is just absolute chaos and a meltdown. BYU losing, Alabama getting blown out by Georgia. They need a lot to go right. But we need to come to grips with this. Miami's not going to be in the playoff. And as a Miami fan, I'm pretty bitter about it because I think that they're one of the best 12 teams in the country, but the committee is going to do something kind of shady. See, those people work for a bunch of college football programs, and they want their programs in the sport to make more money. And you know what makes more money? A bigger playoff field in the future. The bigger the outrage about Miami not making ensures we scrap the current format, we involve more teams sooner, and that means more money for everyone involved. That is the conspiracy that I believe is playing out right now with the College Football Playoff Committee. And then finally, our last piece of Night Bites. I was listening to John Hansen, the guru, legend in the game when it comes to prop betting and fantasy sports. And he was breaking down Thursday Night Football and said he likes Jameson Williams and the matchup he has going up against the Cowboys.
Jamo Williams against Triquez Bridges, who gives up 0.46 fantasy points per route run, but I guess there is an outside chance that Trayvon Diggs plays. I saw he was limited. I'm not sure if he's just ramping up for a return next week, perhaps. But for now, Jamo up against Bridges. Jamo versus Trayvon Diggs would be quite interesting. But Bridges is currently giving up 0.46 fantasy points per route run. FYI, our projection maven over at fantasypoints.com as of today has Jamo Williams number one at wide receiver for the week.
Ooh, we like it too. I'm not betting it, but I understand why people do. Dallas allows the third most receiving yards to opposing wide receivers. Jamo could eat on Thursday Night Football. Hey, right now, ProfitX will match 20% of your first purchase up to $100. ProfitX isn't your typical sports book. It's a prediction market that lets you trade sports outcomes like their stocks. You'll find main lines, player props, and parlays, plus the ability to request your own odds. Download ProfitX, the app today, and experience the future of sports betting. Faster markets, sharper prices, and more control over your action. Use the promo code VSIN to get 20% match up to $100 and start trading your edge today. ProfitX, the future of winning. We'll talk to a guy with a chance to cash in circa millions next on Cashing Out.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-418-8164 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-418-8164. That's 800-418-8164. What do you have to lose? Call 800-418-8164. Again, 800-418-8164.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com. If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Family Medical Center of Hastings is the place to go for all your healthcare needs. Their team is trained to treat the whole person regardless of age. They provide a wide range of medical care, including acute care, routine health screenings, and treatment of chronic conditions. They're dedicated to providing you the best care in the most cost-effective manner. Family Medical Center, as an independent clinic, has served the community for over 65 years. Your family's home for healthcare. 1021 West 14th Street. Proud to support all area student-athletes.
Stellig Law Firm of Grand Island is committed to assisting clients throughout Nebraska. Stellig Law Firm is a full-service law firm and specializes in estate planning, probate, and personal injury. Stellig Law Firm takes the time to listen and understand each client's personal needs. To schedule your individual appointment, call 308-675-4035. Stellig Law Firm is located at 724 West Koenig Street in Grand Island. A call today will secure your tomorrow.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com. It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It's Cashing Out, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. We have a final score in that UCLA-Washington game. Bruins win 82-80. So we cash on the money line. We get the win there, but it got dicey towards the end. Huskies came back, made it interesting. In the end, though, the Bruins move on to 6-2 on the season. So that'll do it for the night in terms of actual sports happening. College basketball, NBA's in the books, and that means our attention has to turn to the football with Thursday Night Football right around the corner. To help us break that game down and the rest of this week's slate in Week 14, it's time to go to the Progressive Guest Line. Welcome in our buddy Jeff Clark, Outkick.com, Outkick Bets, at Jeffrey_Clark on X. And he joins us now on Cashing Out. So talk to me, brother. You just cashed in the quarterly in Circa Millions, a 16-4 run. Where do you sit big picture for the overall price? How did things go during this run? What were you seeing right? What do you feel like right now? Do you think you have a chance to win the big prize?
Well, I'm not mathematically eliminated from the big prize. That's good. I'm 8 games back of first. I'm a game outside of the money. The top 100 in the Circa Million pays. But I have been seeing it really well lately. I've got 8 straight winning weeks. Like you just said, I tied for 5th in the quarter. Tied with 10 other people, though. So we split $10,000 11 ways. Still nice. Went 16-4 over that span. I'm just trying to finish strong, you know. As Kobe said, job not finished. Got to try to get it home and do some real damage in this thing.
All right, well, let's find some winners on the board. Let's get you some more wins. Let's get you in contention. Let's walk away with the big check and that jacket that they give out to all the winners. You're looking at Thursday Night Football. Lions are laying 3. Total's 54.5. I've heard a lot of people make a case for the Cowboys. I like the Lions. You like the Lions. Talk to me. Why do you like Detroit in this spot?
Well, this is just kind of a contrarian play. And until I started watching your show tonight, Sweet, it seemed like everyone was back in Dallas after they beat last year's Super Bowl teams in back-to-back weeks. And, I mean, I love the Cowboys. I made mad money on them this year. But I'm betting that Dan Campbell rallies the troops Thursday. The market has overcorrected on Amon-Ra St. Brown's injury, but Goff was great last week without St. Brown. I mean, he only played 4 snaps, and Detroit has had a full week to put together a game plan without St. Brown, featuring Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams. And I think they'll be able to move the ball against this Dallas defense, which is trending up, looking close to league average, but still isn't very good in my opinion. And I came away from that Detroit loss to Green Bay thinking Detroit played a pretty good game. Just Green Bay ran hot. They caught every contested ball. They converted 3 of 3 fourth downs and including 2 touchdown passes on 4th and short. So it was kind of a coin flip game, even though it was a 7-point margin.
Jeff Clark is with us, Outkick.com, Outkick Bets, at Jeffrey_Clark on X. All right, the next game you're looking at here, and talk to me about it, because Minnesota laying 1.5, taking on Washington. Washington, disappointing overtime loss on Sunday Night Football to Denver. Now they go to Minnesota. Quarterback issues there, offensive issues there, but it does feel like with them being favored, they do have an edge. Why do you like the Vikings in this situation?
Yeah, I bet him the other day at a pick'em, but I'd still bet the Vikings up to 2.5. I'm assuming it stays under 3 for the contest, and I'll sub with them there. And I'm just fading Washington after a gutsy primetime cover and a 27-26 loss to Denver on Sunday Night Football. And back in Minnesota after it hit its market low, losing an embarrassing 26-0 at home versus Seattle last week. Sure, J.J. McCarthy looks terrible, but Max Brosmer had just no business being out there last week. And if there was ever a get-right game for McCarthy, it's going to be Washington, who has the second worst defense in the NFL. I mean, Bo Nix, who has played like 3 good games this entire season, tore up Washington's secondary last week. Minnesota's got better underlying stats. They've played a tougher schedule slightly. Both teams are 4-8. My fare for this is Vikings -3, so I'll take it at 1.5.
I love it.
2, I guess.
No, I love it. Let's go to the next one where I think this is the right side as well. I'm probably going to hold out and see if we can get a 3 in the market. Miami laying 2.5 on the road in New Jersey, taking on the Jets. 41.5 is the total. I mean, Tua in the cold in December, like that usually is the formula to fade him. Yet they're favored here, and Tyrod Taylor to me is an upgrade. So I'm with you. Jets plus 2.5 all the way. Talk to me about the bet.
I mean, you just nailed my first 2 points. Yeah. Outdoors in December in the Northeast. No, and I agree with you. Tyrod is a clear upgrade over Justin Fields. My opinion, the spread just has to be wrong. So Miami was 2.5-point favorites at home in week 4, the first time these two teams met. Miami had a rest and prep edge because they covered in a 31-21 loss to Buffalo on Thursday Night Football the week prior. They had Tyreek Hill in that game. Granted, Garrett Wilson also played for the Jets, but like you already said, Tyrod, in my opinion, is a clear upgrade over Justin Fields because he can actually throw a forward pass. And the Jets won the box score against the Dolphins in week 4, outgained them yards per play 7.1 to 5.4, had 4 more first downs. I think this should be a pick 'em, if not wrong team favorite here. So give me the Jets. I mean, I hit them last week. They got a little lucky. Hopefully they can get lucky for me again this week.
All right, Jeff Clark, Outkick.com, Outkick Bets, just cashed in circa millions in the quarterly, going 16-4, 8 games back, a first. I'm not going to steal any of your talking points. You like the Rams laying 7.5 this week in Arizona. Totals 47.5. Talk to me about Stafford and company bouncing back on the road.
Dude, this has to be a trap line. I feel like I'm stepping in it. It has to be, right? I mean, the Rams went off as 10.5-point favorites in Carolina and the Circa last week, right? Carolina has to be at least 2 points better than the Cardinals on a neutral field. I mean, Panthers are pretty good. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Packers. They beat the Rams last week. Arizona got crushed by Seattle and San Francisco in back-to-back weeks last month. Why would this be any different? There is proof of concept for an NFC West Super Bowl contending team pummeling the Cardinals. That's exactly what I think we see here. And I have this weird little trend I want to run past you. I don't know how much stock you want to put in it. I'm interested in your thoughts, but teams are 5-1 against the spread the week after losing to Carolina. And my thought is the market looks to fade teams losing to Carolina because they don't respect the Panthers. They just think, well, this team has to suck since they lost to Carolina. Again, Carolina's pretty good, and the market just doesn't respect them. I do. In my opinion, the Rams should be at least 11-point favorites here. That is a great tidbit. I love that. Jeff Clark's with us, Outkick.com, Outkick Bets, at Jeffrey_Clark on X. That I haven't heard anyone bring that one up. That is a tremendous one. All right, your last play here. Talk to me about the Bears. You're going to take the 6.5 points at Lambeau Field. Totals 44.5. Is this that you think Chicago is for real, or is it a fade of Green Bay coming off Thanksgiving? Man, I'll give you the cop-out answer. A little bit of both. This is another trap line. I could be stepping in it. I know everyone's betting the Bears, so that makes me nervous. But again, Green Bay ran like gods last week in a win against the Lions. I mean, they have the talent to just play a great game. So I'm not saying it's fluky, but maybe it regresses to the mean. Also, Green Bay has only covered a spread higher than -3 once this year. When they're favored by 3 or more points, they're 1-6 against the spread. They have a higher rushing rate than Chicago, and they have similar pass rates over expectation. Sometimes Jordan Love looks like a superstar, and then sometimes it looks like a league average quarterback. But if I don't want that level of variance if I'm betting a 6.5-point favorite. And kind of getting back to buying on Chicago, just the market refuses to take them seriously. They're still power rated as a below average team, but they're 8-4 against the spread. They're the current 1 seed in the NFC. Their offensive line is sick. I think they're going to hold up against Green Bay's front seven. Ben Johnson's doing a hell of a job. Everyone wants to just dismiss the Bears because of their poor point differential and turnover differential, saying it's a little fluky, but their secondary is balling out maybe and making plays on the ball. So I think the Packers really shouldn't be laying more than 4.5 here, and I'll take the +6.5. He is Jeff Clark. Check him out over at Outkick.com, Outkick Bets, and on X at Jeffrey_Clark. Thanks as always for doing this, my friend. We'll chat again in a few weeks. Yeah, bro. I love chopping it up with you. Keep up the good work. Hey, congrats on Circa Millions. Let's freaking go. All right, when we return, VSiN Morning Bet segment, we will look at Thursday Night Football, and I have 2 player props I love. One from the Cowboys, one from the Lions. That's next on Cashing Out.
A new exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card is your opportunity to go from cardholder to ticket holder for the FIFA World Cup 2026. For a limited time, when you're approved for a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card, you're eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more today at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. what you find.
Drink responsibly, B20.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. A mix of clouds and sun today with highs around 32. South winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, lows level off around 22. A blend of clouds and sun tomorrow, 43. Upper 30s Saturday with a chance for snow. Much cooler Sunday with highs in the mid-20s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Schrabley. Currently, it's 14 degrees.
You're locked in to Extreme Sports.
Olivares now hits a line drive to deep left field. Ward is back to the wall. Granny time!
Here's Doncic wheeling inside in traffic and got it to go. Got it in the foul. The home of 24/7 sports talk. Nothing but pure sports action.
Reuter Auction and Realty is proud to serve Nebraska and northern Kansas for the last 5 decades. We are experts in selling agricultural real estate. Our tools include traditional listings, simulcast auctions, and online-only auctions. Our dedication to details is second to none, and we realize most of our clients have one chance in a lifetime to sell their family's assets. We are full-time land brokers committed to our clients, trusted for decades. Call us today at 402-463-8565 or go to reuterauction.com.
Have you or a loved one been injured in a motor vehicle accident? Hi, I'm Mitch Stellick from Stellick Law Firm in Grand Island, and we specialize in personal injury law. Let Stellick Law Firm assist you in making sure that you and your family are taken care of following a motor vehicle accident. Call us today at 308-675-4035 to schedule your appointment. Let us be your voice.
Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab of Hastings is the trusted name in sports injury management. The staff of PTSR provides up-to-date and efficient care of sports-related injuries, returning athletes quickly and safely back to the playing field. PTSR offers free evaluation of all sports-related injuries to all area athletes during convenient 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. hours Monday through Friday. Call 402-462-8824 for more information. Remember, Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab of Hastings for all your physical and occupational therapy needs.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It's Cashing Out, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. Appreciate you hanging out with us all night long from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas. If you missed any part of tonight's show, I do suggest going back and downloading wherever you get your podcast. We looked at the player props in the NFL as they've come out. Running backs, receivers, tight ends, a bunch of great guests. Wes Reynolds, Jeff Clark in this hour. Earlier, a bunch of great conversations. Tanner Kern, Sean Merriman. Best bets from all of them will be available at vsin.com/picks as well. And right now, I want to remind you that ProfitX will match 20% of your first purchase up to $100. ProfitX isn't your typical sports book. It's a prediction market that lets you trade sports outcomes like their stocks. You'll find main lines, player props, parlays, but plus the ability to request your own odds. Trade live lines and even bet yes or no on touchdown scores. All you have to do is download the ProfitX app today and experience the future of sports betting. Faster markets, sharper prices, and more control over your action. Use promo code VSiN to get your 20% match up to $100 and start trading your edge now. ProfitX, the future of winning. We will begin our VSiN Morning Bet segment by looking at Thursday Night Football. The Lions are hosting the Dallas Cowboys, laying 3 points at Ford Field. Total is 54.5, and this is a big one for both teams. Playoff chances are on the line. Next Gen Stats put out these numbers earlier today. The Lions have a 42% chance to make the playoffs. That jumps to 59% if they win this game on Thursday Night Football, but falls to 22% with a loss. The Cowboys have a 17% chance to make the playoffs. It becomes 31% with a win, but falls to 6% with a loss. These two teams are the two most winningest teams in the NFL playing on Thursday nights. Lions have 45. They are number one. The Cowboys have 44 on Thursday Night Football. They are number two. Dallas is number two in offense with 29.3 points per game coming into this game. They're 5-1-1 when they score more than 24 points. They're facing a Detroit defense that just allowed Green Bay to drop 31 on them and the Giants 27 prior to that. The Lions are allowing 22.8 points per game, 15th in the league. When they hold opponents to under 24 points, they're 5-1 straight up on the season. The big story for Dallas has been this revamped defense. Since acquiring Quinnen Williams, they're 3-0 straight up, 9.1 fewer points per game allowed, 85.1 fewer yards per game allowed. And on the other side for Detroit's defense, a lot of questions about their pass rush. They averaged 4 sacks per game from weeks 2 to 9. They only have 4 total sacks over their last 4 games. And if Dak Prescott has a lot of time to throw against a banged-up secondary for the Lions, it could be a long day for Detroit. As far as injuries are concerned, there's a lot of them coming down for the Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown is officially listed as questionable. Safety Kirby Joseph, receiver Khalif Raymond, tight end Brock Wright, and tight end Shane Zylstra all have been ruled out. In terms of some questionables, we've got offensive tackle Taylor Decker, Brian Branch, the safety, center Graham Glasnow, right tackle Penei Sewell, all questionable for this game on Thursday. And if you look at some of the names available for receiving props, it's a who's who of who are you, because I've never heard of most of these people. Your top receiving yard prop for the Detroit Lions is obviously Jameson Williams, because we don't know if Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to play in this game. And Jameson Williams' number is set at 80.5. It's very trendy. It feels very obvious. He should feast against the Dallas secondary that's given up a ton of points through the air. But the other names below him, after Jahmyr Gibbs and Isaac Tesla, there's a person named Tom Kennedy who's going to play in this game. There is a person named Ross Dwelly who's going to play in this game. Their numbers, respectively, 27.5 receiving yards and 13.5 receiving yards. Just by volume and being on the field, they could clear those numbers, but you're not going to find me betting either of those for this game. For Dallas, George Pickens, no injury status coming into this game. He is good to go. He leads the team, 73 receptions, over 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Cornerback Trevon Diggs will not be activated for the Cowboys. Also, Tyler Guyton, their offensive tackle, he's already been ruled out for this game. Jadeveon Clowney is questionable with a hamstring. He was upgraded to limited on Wednesday. Safety Malik Hooker also listed as questionable for this game. Dan Campbell's 23-10 against the spread off of a loss, 11-3 against the spread off of a home loss. He's 4-4 covering the number on Thursday Night Football. Brian Schottenheimer, 2-0 against the spread on Thursday Night Football, 8-4 to the over, 11-1 to the first half over is Schottenheimer. I like 2 bets in this game. Player props from either side. Dak Prescott over 267.5 pass yards. Lions secondary's banged up. Detroit, as I mentioned earlier, not getting after quarterbacks. They didn't sack Jordan Love a single time last week. Jameis Winston was only sacked once before that. Dak could have a really clean pocket to throw through. He's averaging over his last 3 games 314 yards per game through the air. I think he ends up against this Detroit secondary putting up very big numbers. On the other side for Detroit offensively, we took a look at Jahmyr Gibbs a few days ago. We bet over 33.5 receiving yards. Dallas's run defense is getting better. I think because of that, they're going to have to throw the ball to Gibbs to make him make an impact on this game. On Thanksgiving, Kansas City's Kareem Hunt, 14 for 58 on the ground, but he and Pacheco combined for 3 for 39 through the air. 2 weeks ago, Philly, Saquon Barkley couldn't run against them, just 22 yards rushing, but had 53 receiving. And then 3 weeks ago, Ashton Genty, 7 rushing yards, but had 27 receiving yards on 6 catches. I just think that's the way that Detroit's going to have to use Jahmyr Gibbs. And on top of that, he kind of becomes the de facto number 2 receiver if Amon-Ra St. Brown can't play in this game. So we will find out. Dallas does allow the 3rd most receiving yards to running backs, 44.66 yards per game through the air. In terms of the side or total, I lean over, and I lean Lions -3. I may end up getting there with the Lions -3. I just think there's a lot of hype about Detroit right now with the way they've been playing, and they have been playing better, but I think context matters, who they play matters, and at some point, It feels like this should run out. They might be playing just slightly above their skis, and Dan Campbell's a guy, I mentioned those trends off a loss. I don't see him losing 2 in a row when his team needs it this badly. That's the NFL. Let's go down to the NBA, where we have a slew of games and a bunch of injuries to discuss. Warriors in Philly, Sixers laying 3.5, 223.5 is your total. DeAnthony Melton will make his season debut for Golden State in this matchup. Joel Embiid is doubtful. Paul George is questionable. Quentin Grimes is questionable. I like VJ Edgecombe over 20.5 PRA. We bet it the other day at 21.5. It ended up missing by the hook. My hope is that Paul George ends up not playing or Grimes doesn't play. That should upgrade VJ Edgecombe, who's available. That is where I'm looking in this game. Steve Kerr's 96 and 100 against the spread as a road dog, so not great there. 103 and 91 to the under in that role, so under 223.5 makes sense. However, Nick Nurse, 36 and 13 to the over as a favorite of 3.5 to 9.5. The Lakers are in Toronto. Raptors are laying 1.5. Total's 228.5, and that's because Luka Doncic has been ruled out. Marcus Smart has been ruled out. And for the Raptors, Jakob Poeltl has been ruled out. JJ Redick, 17 and 3 to the over as a road dog, 16 and 3 against the spread versus teams winning 60 to 70% of their games. Darko Rajakovic, I think I got that right, just 23 and 30 against the spread as a home underdog. No real strong opinion there. I thought about Rui Hachimura over 14.5 points at a plus price. He's done well when Luka hasn't played, but all of that has been without LeBron James available. And LeBron James, I think, negatively impacts a lot of aspects of the Lakers right now. We've got the Celtics going to Washington, taking on the Wizards. Boston's laying 9 and hook. 229.5 is the total. Jaylen Brown is doubtful. Alex Sarr has already been ruled out for the Wizards. Bilal Coulibaly has an oblique. He is also out. Joe Mazzulla, 62 and 65 against spread as a road favorite, 69 and 59 to the under. Brian Keefe, 37 and 16 to the under off a road loss, 25 and 32 against spread as a home dog, just 9 and 15 against spread as a home dog of 6.5 to 12. I would look for maybe Derek White in this matchup, although I think Boston runs away with it. So I'd avoid player props, maybe lean to the under 229.5 here. The Jazz are in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. The Nets on a back-to-back. They upset Milwaukee on Wednesday. Utah's laying 4.5. The total's 231.5. Nurkic is questionable with a rib. Kevin Love has been ruled out for the Jazz. Will Hardy, 68 and 47 to the over as a road dog. Jody Fernandez, 17 and 24 against the spread as a home dog. 18 and 10 to the under, playing the second game in 5 days. I would lean Utah, but I don't love laying 4.5 with them on the road against anyone, even if it's the Nets off a win. And then finally, Minnesota is at New Orleans. Yves Missy is going to be out for this game. And Minnesota laying 11.5, total 233.5. You know, with Zion Williamson out of the lineup, a lot of this offense does get funneled through Derek Queen. Against them on Tuesday, he had 21, 8, and 6, but that was in overtime. Maybe the assist prop is the way to look for Derek Queen, the big rookie out of Maryland, but I don't love the matchup for him overall, so this game's going to be a complete stay away for me right there. So that's going to do it for us here on Cashing Out, but you got to stay with VSiN all day long. We got you covered. We're getting ready for the big Thursday night football game, the Lions and the Cowboys. Our programming gets started 7 a.m. Eastern. VSiN by the books, Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis, followed by a numbers game with Gil Alexander and Kelly Bidlin at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then you got the guru, John Hansen, with prop points at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. We'll be back with live reaction to Thursday night football coming up tomorrow right here on VSiN. It's the Sports Betting Network.
Whether it's morning routines or weekends on the sidelines, when the temperature drops, America brings the heat with Hot Hands. Hot Hands are America's favorite hand, toe, neck, and even body warmers to help you stay warm and cozy from head to toe. Hot Hands are fast-acting, long-lasting, and made right here in the USA. Look for the Hot Hands logo in the bright orange packages at your favorite store or online. Keep doing what you love out there with Hot Hands, warming up America coast to coast.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS. Ethos.com/Mike.
From Feature Story News in Paris, I'm Ross Cullen. Officials from the US and Ukraine are due to hold fresh talks in Miami on ending the war with Russia on Thursday. Meanwhile, Ukraine's European allies say they will continue to bolster Kyiv against the Russian invasion. White House correspondent Steve Holland says it's seen as a legacy issue by US President Donald Trump.
He had some success there in Gaza. That's a fragile ceasefire that's still holding. But this one is very elusive, and Trump will tell you in great detail about the casualties and the problems there. But he's resistant to putting more pressure on the Russians so far.
The number of people who died in Hong Kong's worst fire in decades has risen to 159. Police say they have completed a search inside all 7 of the 8 high-rise buildings hit by the blaze that first broke out last Wednesday and took until Friday to be extinguished. About 30 people remain missing. Laura Westbrook reports.
Police haven't ruled out the death toll rising further as they continue their forensic testing. Meanwhile, mourners continued to stream to a small park near the site of the fire, placing flowers and handwritten notes as they paid tribute to the victims, the youngest of whom was a 1-year-old baby and the oldest 97. Authorities earlier said the fire on the estate, which was undergoing major renovations, was likely made worse by the use of netting that did not meet fire-resistant standards. While the disaster has led to calls for accountability and reform, officials are also monitoring for any unrest linked to the incident, with Beijing's national security arm in Hong Kong on Wednesday condemning external hostile forces that have seized upon the disaster to stir up trouble and incite chaos. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
The US is reportedly preparing an immigration enforcement operation targeting hundreds of Somalis in Minnesota. The New York Times reports that the operation will start this week. Tony Waterman reports.
According to the New York Times, the operation will include so-called strike teams comprised of ICE officers, agents, and other federal officials. Roughly 100 people have been brought in for the operation. The mission will reportedly focus on the hundreds of Somalis with final deportation notices, but others could be swept up as well. The president on Tuesday described Somalis as garbage, saying he didn't want them in the country. His immigration crackdown has intensified after last week's shooting of 2 National Guard troops, allegedly at the hand of an Afghan national. The Somali community in Minnesota has also drawn criticism after federal prosecutors charged 47 people with stealing hundreds of millions of dollars in COVID-19 funding that was meant to feed children during the pandemic. Tony Waterman, Washington.
That's the latest Feature Story News. Ross Cullen reporting from Paris.
They've had these discussions happen a couple years ago. It looked like maybe he was going to be exiting stage left then. It feels like it's ramping up a little bit. He did get nicked up in the game last night here. Giannis had to leave with a non-contact injury. What do you make of these talks? Because it does feel like, according to our guy Shams Trani does a great job, that it looks like the Knicks are the favorites to maybe be a destination spot. If that happens, you would think the landscape of the Eastern Conference would change right before our very eyes.
Right now, if it is the Knicks, who are plus 360, just a shade behind the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are plus 340 to win the Eastern Conference, it would certainly make them at least the betting favorite, if not odds on, here in the coming weeks. Again, we'll check on the health of Giannis. As you mentioned, had to leave early last night. The Bucks are in salary cap hell. We talked about that in the offseason heading into this season, so they were going to have to make a decision. And then knowing Damian Lillard was going to be lost for the entirety of the season, that ultimately sets them up for what do we do in the interim? How do we position ourselves to try and make this as short a rebuild window as possible? And then, you kind of look at where things have started in the Eastern Conference. The Pistons out to a big start. We highlighted them, Dave, for people looking not only in the Eastern Conference market, but also Cade Cunningham as a potential MVP north of 30-1 beginning of the season. Detroit off to a hot start. Knicks just 2.5 back of the top spot there in the Eastern Conference, but pretty congested, if you will. Difference between first place and eighth place right now, Dave, in the NBA in the Eastern Conference, just 4.5 games. So Milwaukee right now loses of 8 of the last 10. They did win last night, but they're under 500 at 10-13. Not a surprise that we're starting to see these talks surface here as of late.
Milwaukee 60-1 to win the East. So the Knicks plus 360, 60-1 feels like it's implying that Giannis might be on the move. They say, the team and the agent, that maybe it'll come up in a couple of weeks here to figure out where Giannis is going, if anywhere at all. What about Deshaun Watson? What's happening with him in Cleveland? Remember Deshaun Watson? Oh, boy. 21-day practice window is open for Deshaun. I don't know that we'll see him actually hit the field this year for Cleveland at the end of the year, but, boy, does this feel like the longest honeymoon, breakup, divorce, but yet he's still there. Jensen, what's the chatter in Cleveland about Deshaun?
Just kind of one of those things that you go through the calendar, you're like, oh, okay, well, at some point we got to get him going here. And knowing that if you do sustain injuries to both Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, you need a guy. This is not really anything that is going to, I think, raise any flags or, whoa, he's going to be the guy here coming up soon. So this is Shedeur's team for the foreseeable future. They've got to see what they have with him. We already know what they have with Deshaun, as you said. It's one of those relationships you wish you could get out of, but, man, contractually, it is what it is. You sign on the dotted line, you're committed. And thank you, Jimmy Haslam, for the worst contract in the NFL in recent memory.
You can cut him, but you still got to pay him. That's the deal. That's what you guys signed up for there in Cleveland when you signed up with Deshaun Watson. The Ravens have signed up with Mark Andrews for another 3 years. How about this? And he's going to get a $39.3 million extension to stay right there in Charm City. A lot has been made of Andrews and the drop ball last year against the Bills in the postseason, but he's having another good year. And what do you make of this? Because you kind of feel like Isaiah Likely might be taking a spot as the top guy at tight end. And yet, again, a 3-year extension for Mark Andrews. And I'm a little surprised by the length of that contract, but he's been very, very good in Baltimore in his tenure.
Yeah, so two things true at the same time. Isaiah Likely going to be a free agent, I believe, after this season, and I would imagine that he gets a lot of run in a lot of places. So perhaps from a financial standpoint, conversations had with Mark Andrews. We know the continuity that he's had for years with Lamar Jackson. We know Lamar isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So perhaps a cost-effective move, but a guy that has really been synonymous with the Baltimore Ravens for their championship window here, or at least their competitive window. So good for him. Icing on the cake, he just got engaged over Thanksgiving. So all is well for Mark Andrews and company and family. So he's on the high road here. To me, this feels more dollars and cents, knowing that Isaiah Likely's price tag, you probably can only keep one or the other. So that's probably where they kind of came down. Rather get it done now than see potentially where Likely's price tag might be.
Did he have to get a bigger ring because he knew the contract was being worked? Like, how does that work? As a single guy, I have no idea how those things work. It was a really happy holiday, and what a great Thanksgiving for the NFL and the execs, and look at these numbers that are coming out from Thanksgiving Day. The Chiefs and Cowboys drew 57.23 million viewers. That is the most watched regular season game in NFL history. We just saw it on Thanksgiving Day. Packers and Lions, not too shabby. 47.4 milli watched that, which made that the most watched regular season game ever on Fox, because that was the Fox game. Of course, the CBS game was the Chiefs and the Cowboys. And then the Bengals and Ravens, all right, you got the tryptophan setting in a little bit. Are you still watching football? You better believe it. 28.4 million watched that. That is the most watched Thanksgiving night game ever. So while it almost doubles for the Cowboys as the main event with the Chiefs, you look at those numbers, Jensen, and it just shows you the Black Friday game is going to get bigger. I wonder if they'll add a second one to that on Friday. It's just getting bigger.
It is. Think about where you came into this season, Dave. Cowboys-Giants, and I believe it was Thanksgiving in 2022, was 42.1 million. And just kind of wrap your head around where the numbers have parabolically increased there. You get 57 million. And I know we're usually looking at Super Bowls in the hundreds, of millions. I think last year's Super Bowl, 133.5 million. Just to give you context, it's a little under half of the viewership that a Super Bowl got last year. So it's pretty remarkable. Football is king, man. It is. It will not shock me. Will not shock me if Amazon does a Black Friday special for that afternoon game and that night game on a Friday night next year.
I think we see exactly where the die is cast when you get numbers like this year. So they're not going to slow it down and take away a game or just have one on Friday. I think you'll see expansion there as well. When we come back, let's dive into that Thursday night game. I'm sure Prime is pretty excited about this one, Amazon Prime tonight, because they've got the coverage, and I'm sure they're expecting big numbers here with the Lions and the Cowboys. We get some numbers from Steve Mackinnon that if you are a backer of America's team, which we do believe still resides in Dallas, you might want to know these numbers before you place those wagers. We'll discuss those when you come back with us right here on VSiN by the Books.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-1313. 800-791-1313.
Your favorite VSiN shows in person.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. 32 today, under partly cloudy skies, south winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear tonight, lows dip down to about 22. Daytime highs approaching 43 tomorrow. Upper 30s Saturday with a chance of snow. Much cooler Sunday with highs in the mid-20s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frobley. Currently, it's 13 degrees.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
You're tuned in to VSiN by the Books, right here on VSiN.
We continue VSiN by the Books on this Thursday morning. We know that reaching people is easy, but reaching the right people is everything. And that's where our friends at Mission Media help you brand and your brand to do exactly that. This cross-platform strategy is going to hit fans wherever they're watching or listening, podcast, connected TV, streaming, digital, all of it. And because Mission Media is the exclusive advertising partner for VSiN, you're going to get direct access to one of the most loyal, engaged, and bet-ready sports audiences in the country. These are fans who respond, engage, and convert. So if you want your message in front of people who actually take action, Mission Media makes it happen. Visit VSiN.com/advertise or email us at advertising@vsin.com. Jensen Lewis, Dave Ross here, Thursday edition of VSiN by the Books. A very big game tonight, obviously, with the Cowboys and the Lions. It does feel like one of those games that could kick you out if you lose it here from really a serious shot at the playoff standings. We mentioned this. You get Bill Adie's newsletter each and every day, the VSiN newsletter, and he really detailed this, and I know Steve Makinen's got some great numbers as well. But the percentages go down into the single digits here for the loser of this football game, specifically the Cowboys. If they were to lose this one, Jensen, it goes down to about a 6% chance of actually making the postseason if they were to lose this game. They are 3-point underdogs here in Detroit. Now, they were 3-point underdogs at home against Philadelphia, 3-point underdogs at home against Kansas City. I've ridden the Cowboys the last couple of weeks. I'm going to find myself on their side again tonight with the same number of 3. But the numbers that Steve Makinen outlines here, Jensen, do not historically bode well for the Cowboys, and really a really good spot traditionally for the Lions, certainly coming off a loss like they